Hey guys, we are going to start a new tutorial on Photoshop. And just before I start, I just want to tell that it's a very simple software, and once you get used to it, then you can do a lot great things. And it's really a workhouse of doing a lot of stuff. So before we get started, I want you to be on the same page. So we'll go to Windows and the Workspace and Essential Default. So now we'll come to this screen where you get all the tools in the left side, what you can use and what you can do on Photoshop. You can edit and you can crop and all the things. And in the right side you have the colors, the switches and the libraries, the properties, alignment and layers, channels, path, etc. So before we do anything new, I just want to tell you to just open a new document. So to open a new document, you press Ctrl plus N, so you'll get this option for a new document. You can also add a new document by going to file and then clicking new. So I'm using the 2018 version, so you get a different option, the custom, and you can see the different pixels, and you can see also the resolution, the 300 ppi. We'll get into all that later. You can also change it here, the width, the height, how much you want. You can change it to pixel, inches, centimeters. I've not used centimeters, millimeters and all much, because they come more handy when you're using like for outdoor, like you need to print it and all, and you need to know like how much you want to put exactly all your values. So like if you're using on a page, so you want to make it like 30 centimeters, and you put it 30 centimeters, and then you can do all the editing you want to do. The next, you can also choose like if you want to make a photo or maybe print. You can print a letter, a legal tabloid, A4 size, A6. You can also select these all things. So we just start with the basic. You can just rename this as anything. Example I'm typing. So I'm keeping the pixels 1000 by 1000 because I want a square. You can also change the orientation, but whether I'll keep it this or this, it's going to be a square because 1000 by 1000 is a square. And the artboard, you can just leave it that way. The resolution, it depends on the resolution. You can keep it normally by 72 or 300. Is how much resolution the pixels you will be able to see. So normal 300 is good, because even if you are out and like if you zoom out or something, then it will still be clear. And 72, if you zoom in a lot, you can see the pixels are the dot like things which you see. If like you just download a photo and you see a lot dots, like if the picture is not clear, so that is a resolution. So there is RGB and CMYK. Normally we use CMYK if we want to print something. RGB is the basic digital color, like you see on Facebook, you see on Instagram. Those all are done on RGB because they are the computer screens. And CMYK is done for print because print has black. CMYK is cyan, magenta, yellow, and key. Key is black. So then the if you print something, then it is a bit duller, and RGB is like bright, and that's why it's for the digital thing. So we'll keep the background as white, and we'll create a new document. We normally use 8-bit and 16 bits. We don't go to 32 bits because the file becomes too heavy, and when we go to 32 bit, then there are certain effects and all which we don't be able to use. So that is why we take 8-bit max to max, 16-bit, leave it as it is, and we create a new document. So now as we can see that it is 1000 by 1000, it's a full square. So we come to this. So this is my Photoshop file. It's an RGB, it's showing here. We can zoom in and zoom out by clicking Alt, and I can scroll in, scroll out. I normally do this because I'm using my mouse. And this is your layers. So like you eat a burger or something, so you see the top layer, like you see the bun, and then you see the inside meat, and then you see all the vegetables, and then again a bun. So this is like how Photoshop works. So you keep one layer another, and then you can just hide a layer, mask a layer. You can do a lot sorts of things. So we will add a new layer. We can add a new layer. We can delete a new layer and click yes to delete it. And this is to lock a layer or unlock a layer. So if we unlock the layer, we have to just click on this. So we can see that we can move this thing, and we can see the check mark things here. So the check marks is the transparent layer. Like if I export this thing to a PNG, so this will be full blank, and then you can create another image or something. That's a little bit in depth, and we'll go to that later. I'll again go and I'll lock the layer again because I'm not doing anything to that layer. Normally we don't do anything to the layer which is locked, and this is the background layer. You can also change colors and all of the layer, and we'll get into that later. So these are the tools. The move tool V, as it shows here, like we can see we can move things. So if we press V, and now the background is locked, so if I do anything, nothing is going to happen. So I need to unlock the layer, and then you can see that I can move it. So if you press V to move. Okay, then next is the selections. We start with the selection first. We have different types of selection, that is marquee tool, lasso tool, magic wand, coloring, etc. Okay, so we start with the marquee tool. The marquee tool is a normal tool where we can it's used for selection of an object. We'll just import an image before selecting a thing. So we'll go to file, we'll go to place embedded, and here I have my one picture, so I'll just place it. So now you can see that the white thing is there, and here it is also like white. So I just want to remove that, so we can just drag, but remember you can do this way, but it does not make any sense because that white thing is not going to go. So we will press shift and we can drag it from the point. You can do this way, okay, or the other option is you can press shift and alt. So shift and alt, you can see that is going to the center point. This is the anchor point. Wherever I take the anchor point and I press shift and alt, it will go there. So if I keep the center point here, it will come in the between. Okay, so we'll add the image again. We'll go to file, we'll go to place embedded, and we'll add the image. Now you can see the lines what is coming here. If you press enter, then it will go. Now even if you try to drag and all, you'll not be able to drag it. So you have to press Ctrl and T so that transform, to get a transform option, and then you have to press shift and alt so that it drags from here, and in the between you can just drag the image, and you can see that it covers the whole thing. Now in case you want this part in, you have to just take it to the, okay, you press enter, and now you can see that this layer is added. Okay, so now there are different types of selection. Like if you want to select something, then you can use different types of selection. First we'll start with the marquee tool. You have the rectangular, you have the ellipse, and single row and single column. Okay, so after selecting the marquee tool, we will just add a rectangle, or we can put a square also. So I will just deselect it by pressing Ctrl and D to deselect. So now you can see that it's gone. So if you want a square, you can just hold shift and you can see that you're getting a square. Again I'll do Ctrl D because I want to deselect it, and if I just drag it and I don't hold shift, then I'll get a rectangle, or you can even make a square, but it may not be proportionate. So I'll just press rectangle. Now you can see that the rectangle is come. You can't do anything much now because you're on the layer, and this is the layer. So I will show you how to rasterize it and to work on this layer, that is later. So I'll press Ctrl D. You can see that the box is gone. Now we will add a new layer because we want to make a rectangle here, and I want to fill some other color there. Okay, so I'll just make a rectangle there. Now you can see that there's a rectangle here, and I'll press alt and delete. So now you can see that this colors come. Now how this colors come? Because this is selected here as a background, it's a foreground color. So now you can change the foreground color. You can choose any color which you like. You again press, you can see that the lines are still there. So that is why if I press alt and delete again, this color will come back again here. So now you can do a lot of different things in this software. You can add one more layer, and then now you need to come out of this marking line. So you need to press Ctrl D. Now it is deselected. I can make one other box or something, and then I can change the color. Let's take red or something, and then press alt and delete. Now you can see that the red thing has come down. And now if we go to the move tool, we can press V for the move tool. We can also drag it. I want it top, you can just put top. Okay, so now you can press Ctrl D to see that you deselect the thing. Now you can select this auto select thing. Okay, so this auto select thing is on, then the software knows like what you want to select. Like if my auto select is on, I can select the purple layer, I can drag the purple layer. I can select the red layer, I can drag the red layer. But remember that this layer what you want to see should be top, because if I'm keeping like you can see this red layer. Now if I bring it here, it is top, then it is visible. But if this layer is down, then it's not visible because the purple layer is top now. So if I remove this also, I'll not be able to put it front because the purple layer is top. So you have to drag it and put it top so that the layer is visible.